So I've seen the latest 2 episodes of Boruto, and it just made me think, what the hell is going on? Because literally we've gone from a good arc to this, right? And I'm gonna give you my opinions on what I've seen so far and why I skipped the previous review. And to be honest with you, it's simple. I have a lot of things to do, and the rest is going to be discussed in this review. So let's start with a few points that I made and I'm going to be talking about. So I think the episodes do serve a purpose, but for the wrong reason. So we get this whole thing with Chocho, who likes this movie star, right? And this applies to real life as well. The thing is that people, when they see these movie stars act out certain characters, like, they get confused. Like, they have this illusion, this way of thinking that these people on the screen are exactly as the characters that they act, which is not the case at all. They just portray a certain character, right? And then people meet them in person and try to actually say the same phrases that they might have acted out as a different character, and then these people are going to be creeped out by you because you think that they are that character when they are a different person just portraying that character, right? So she mistakes this guy for being a nice person, since he seems to be a nice person in whatever movie that he is in, right? It's a drama. So yeah, and that happened in real life. It's happened to me when I went on stage and performed, and people came up to me thinking I was this very comedic character, which I am in person, but I wasn't like a stupid person, which the character I was playing was, right? So that's a huge lesson to learn. So this guy turns out to be a scumbag and was leading her on and told her that he doesn't like fat girls, and that's also another life lesson, because a lot of people actually go for people because of their looks, right? They don't consider the personality, and then they get burned by that person because they find out that that person is just all meat. They just look good. They have no substance that comes with them. It's just looks, and they get burned. So that's another life lesson, I guess, that this episode is teaching, right? So after viewing, or watching these 2 episodes, I came to one conclusion, right? It made me ask one question, and it's like, okay, cool. So I like the fact that they've given us these life lessons, but what have these 2 episodes, like, what do they have to do with being a ninja? Because the show's about being a ninja, so what do these 2 episodes do? How do they contribute? And that's the question I'm asking, because this is a show about ninjas. But anyways, we get development from Mitsuki, who steps from the shadows, right? Because he's supposed to be the moon. He steps from his position, and he actually does talk to Chocho. He is the one that does the talk no jutsu, because Boruto does not do it this episode, which I'm really surprised about, because these 2 episodes have not been about him, and he hasn't really done much of talking or main character things, and Mitsuki is the one to step up and talk to Chocho and tell her to behave and focus on the mission. And that is him taking Boruto's role. Like he said, he has a son that he needs to follow, and he's exactly following the footsteps. It shows that he's developed as a person. Before, Mitsuki would just be like emotionless person who would make the logical decisions, but now I think he's starting to understand emotion and how people feel, and then he can actually express it in the way, he was talking about the bag of chips or whatever. And also, at the end of the episode, he got the bag of chips and he was eating it. He tried it, and then Orochimaru actually said, why are you eating? Because the thing is, he's a synthetic human. So I assume him asking such an obvious question of why people eat, I assume that Mitsuki does not need food in order to survive, because I remember when Obito had the whole synthetic arm thingy, on him, he did not require any food. So I don't know if the same applies to synthetic humans or not. So yeah, that's what I made out of what Orochimaru actually said. Another thing is, I think they are setting up a little love thingy between Chocho and Mitsuki. I mean, it's happening slowly, but I think it's something that they're gonna go for, because Mitsuki always tells her that her symptoms are getting worse, and apparently he's the only one who knows what these symptoms are. And she constantly tells this guy not to give him advice, and now she gave him the bag of potato chips, and saying that she only gives that to people who she likes. So by giving that to Mitsuki, it shows that Mitsuki actually has moved away from being that annoying guy who always gives her advice, which she doesn't need, to a person she actually likes. So I don't know, maybe they might be setting something up for that. And I think these are the only important things worth noting that actually happened in this episode. and in the previous one as well. So yeah, that has been actually my quickest review I've ever done. But in filler episodes, usually there is barely anything to talk about. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed my review, and I'll catch you next time.